Guns, guns, and more guns, says Gearbox Software when they bring out any new content for Borderlands. And Borderlands 4 is no exception. We just finished watching the state of play that PlayStation had that was all about Borderlands, and there are more options than ever before to have lots and lots of guns in all sorts of varieties and ways. So we're going to talk about our feelings for the upcoming Borderlands 4, and will it be where Borderlands needs to go after that horrible showcase of movie that they brought out in theaters.
Oh my gosh, I literally forgot about that.
I remember that.
Brett, thank you for bringing that back in my mind.
Remember that quality show?
Movie.
Sorry, yeah, movie.
It's a show.
Oh, it was rough. It was rough. So Borderlands 4 has released a whole bunch of details about what the game is going to be all about. They have actually moved up the release date. Originally, it was going to release on September 23rd, the same day as Marathon. It's now going to release September 12th on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Nintendo Switch 2 at some point. It will be cross-play at launch, developed by Gearbox Software. And yeah, let's dive into it a little bit. Where do you guys want to start? What was the biggest call out for y'all?
How about there's not going to be millions of guns, but billions of guns this time around?
To be honest, billions was promoted in Borderlands 4.
Oh, was it? Okay, then let's go with trillions.
Well, my big thing about the gun situation is that you can modify the gun depending on what other gun you have, right? You can take a Jacob's part and put it with a... what's another brand? I always say
Jacobs.
I thought that's just how it spawned.
So I think it is how it spawns. And that's where I was a little thrown off when I first watched it, because I was like, oh, that's cool. I could like mix and match parts.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a random loot drop that will have, but it will have variations of different types of guns that would have like a Jacobs and then a Malawan and then a this and all the different stuff.
There's 8 types of
yeah, they've added
manufacturers.
They've added 3.
3 or 2?
3.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah.
But no, I like the fact that they're going back to like also that the legendaries are actual legendary weapons that are unique and like a one-time experience, because like
they admitted.
Yeah, they admitted to their issue. Borderlands 3
guns
had that problem, but my biggest thing is the traversal, like the gliding mechanic and the grappling gun. I think that's going to be fun to play around with. Yeah,
they've now added dash, double jump, glide, grapple, and more climbing of certain surfaces, improving mobility in combat throughout the game. Yeah, on the course of the gear, they have the new licensed parts, allows you random combinations of components from different manufacturers. They also introduced an ordnance slot that lets you replace the traditional artifact slot that enables players to equip cooldown-based heavy weapons and grenades without the need for heavy ammo, which is really nice. So that's one less ammo type you have to worry about managing. And then they have a new skill tree system that's expanded with augments that modify how skills function, offering deeper build customization than ever before. But like looking back on like the main game, so it's the setup of this story is that you're going to play against a timekeeper who is a dictator who's commanding this army of synthetic followers known as the Order. And then whenever, I guess, the moon, whenever the stuff of Borderlands 3 happened, it disrupted the Order and caused some kind of crazy thing to happen on the planet Kairos. And that's a new planet that we're going to. One of the negatives I heard from people talking about this is that they felt like you could basically like this doesn't feel like a different planet. But I think I disagree with that. I feel like it's pretty... I mean, Borderlands 3 took you a lot of different locations, which felt different. But Pandora largely is like a desert planet, right? It's like never was like very varying in biomes. So I think people are a little forgetting kind of what happened with the game back then, and that Pandora is just like all desert. This has a lot of different biomes within this one big planet, and it's now mostly an open world. It's not an entirely open world, but it's giant open areas that you can run around and explore and do quests.
Didn't they say that
everywhere.
There was going to be like weather mechanics as well?
Dynamic weather and stuff as well, yeah. Which is pretty cool. So I'm assuming that means day-night cycle, rain, thunder, snow, lightning, snow, the whole 9 yards, blizzards.
Fall,
summer. Yeah, summer, moon.
Oh, nice.
All
Tsunami,
the above.
Hurricane, tornadoes.
Tornadoes, hell yeah. No, probably not tornadoes.
No,
but
probably not. That'll be fucking random.
That'll be very random, yeah. But it's looking really interesting. I mean, graphically, it's like about the same as it was before.
Which I'm fine with.
What?
I'm fine with.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, but it's like they've added a lot of new mechanics. They've added a little robot that runs around with you, kind of like the ghost from Destiny. They've also added a vehicle that you can spawn whenever to navigate around, and it's got guns on it.
Love it even more.
Love it even more.
It all looks kind of like a better Destiny, if you ask me.
Oh, 100%. Way better
Like,
Destiny.
open world, you have your Sparrow, you have abilities, you can get all the weapons that you want. And now they have it where they've corrected the loot drop, so legendaries actually are meaningful. It's like, bro, yes.
Yeah.
Originally watching the trailer that you showed us initially, I was like, oh, this is just the same shit all over again. It is not. I'm actually hyped for this, and I didn't think I would be.
Unfortunately, I'm the same way with you on that until I watch the state of play, and I'm kind of like, I'm hyped for it. You know, the hype's not very high for it. It's a little bit because I got burned on Destiny. I got burned on Borderlands 4, even though I still enjoyed it. I played it all the way
Borderlands
through.
3.
Oh, 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3, I played it, and just storyline, it didn't feel good to me. Gameplay-wise, I felt great. I do agree, the loot drops didn't feel like as meaningful. It just felt pointless.
So much.
And it was so much. And then now this comes out, and I'm my hype's a little bit there, you know. But this does make me want to play Borderlands again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it makes me want to play Borderlands again so badly.
Well, they even redesigned like the menu systems and stuff like that to make that look more intuitive. Like that skill tree seems more expansive than ever before. You know, I mean, there's a lot of quality of life upgrades here that I think are really key and needed. One thing that they didn't dive much into this that I'm excited to learn more about. They've announced 2 of the 4 new Vault Hunters. So one of which that was showcased in this trailer was Vex. She's a siren, and she utilizes supernatural phase energy and can summon a spectral feline companion named Trouble. And Trouble was pretty cool. So
yeah.
And then there's another
like
one.
A cat.
Yeah.
Which what's cool with Trouble, whatever gun you switch to, whatever elemental effect they have, the feline Trouble will switch to that as well.
And you can pet Trouble.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You always got to pet an animal in a video game.
I almost was going to drop this game if I couldn't pet the cat.
They also have Rafa, who is an exo soldier, former TDR trooper equipped with an experimental exosuit capable of digistructing an arsenal of weapons. So there's 2 more that we haven't been revealed or showcased yet that will come at a later date to see what they're all about and everything. But it's so you kind of have your really I guess your more tanky character and then your siren character. So I'll be curious to see what the other 2 are going to be.
I think the other one would be a tank, not this one.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
The other one's a big guy.
Yeah,
potentially. Amon's going to be huge.
He's
he might be right.
Big guy, not unless they make him sneaky. That would be funny as fuck.
Yeah,
I think Rafa was the other female.
Yeah, I guess maybe Rafa's more of a techie character or something. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
But more to come on that later on. But the co-op stuff seems cool though, because it's like what I like about it is we can jump in and like they took a different direction. Like Borderlands always was this like linear based map where you could like see when you open up the map screen every nook and cranny of what you've uncovered and what you haven't in the fog of war. So you basically just like ran around every corner of the map to explore. This one takes that away and is more of this large, big open area space where you can run around and there's objective markers throughout the map. And with that, you can come and find there's dynamic events that occur within the world. As you're playing with your friends, difficulty scales with you. So like each person can experience it their way. And then you can also fast travel to your friends too, which is kind of cool. So if you guys go off and do different things, you can fast travel to each other and find each other really quickly and stuff like that. So that's really nice. But yeah, some of the things I was reading about online, the people have said is that they feel just concerned about the art style being like the same as before, but like to y'all's point, I don't think that's really a big deal.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is Borderlands, and it's like we've seen it. We've seen it this way for a while, but it's like I don't think it needs to be like, you know, billions and billions of ray traces all over the place. You know, I think it's fine. And then there's some concerns about the character designs not being as distinct as they have in the past.
Maybe.
And then there's actually surprisingly concerns about excuse me,
Bless you.
concerns about the legendary loot drop rates being changed, and that now in a loot driven game, is it too little loot drops of legendaries now?
Lance, you can never make
you can't
anyone happy,
you
dude.
know?
Look, we had a problem with it before. Let them try to correct it. I mean, if you can fight a boss and get a badass gun, and you can play with that gun for a little bit,
That's what I like.
that would be awesome.
I don't
Instead
want
of
to
like
switch it out every 5
going,
minutes.
5 minutes later, like, well, I am full of loot, and 5 of them are legendaries, and I don't ever use them.
And plus,
Exactly.
like the replayability, they said that you can replay bosses. Can you imagine replaying a boss on a different difficulty and getting that same gun but a higher level?
That'd be great.
Oh,
I would love that.
I'm excited for the replayable boss thing. Like not
Yeah.
having to go back through the whole story
Yeah.
again, but just like pick and
Just
choose
pick
what you
and
want
choose.
to grind the way
Yeah.
you want. That's gonna be really nice. But yeah, I mean it's looking pretty solid. They mentioned at the very end of the trailer, the video, that they're saving the end game for later. I'm really interested to see what the end game ends up being, because the end game in Borderlands 4, 3. I mean, I'm trying to remember what the end game was, because in Tiny Tina's it was like going back through like those little instance areas where you had to fight a bunch of guys. It was like kind of like a horde
you're
mode
talking
thing.
about, like, your horde,
But in
yeah.
Borderlands 3, what was the end game like?
Fuck.
Remember?
I think it was something similar, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Because
I don't
they,
really.
didn't do the traditional DLC
Let me take a look.
like they did with the previous games. I
Or
don't
you'll take a
Oh, no,
look.
they did. They did, actually. Endgame. They had a couple DLCs that came out, but not all of them were good. Mayhem mode, that's what it was. Okay. So Mayhem mode you could turn on and then go into battle, and it just like it had a bunch of modifiers that made the game like crazier.
Yeah.
Then they have the Slaughterhouse. I think that was where you could just go and do waves and waves of bad guys.
I think I'm thinking of Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
But they had like seasonal content as well, because you remember they did like the October Halloween event and
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah. It was cool, but it was like I kind of missed the traditional DLC from Borderlands 2 and 1 and pre-sequel. So I'm curious if they'll go back to that or if they'll continue doing this.
God, I love pre-sequel.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see how that kind of transitions. But yeah, it's looking good. You know, there's some good stuff happening here. I mean, like, do you guys think this is gonna be your game for a little bit when it comes out?
Oh, most definitely. Well,
Potentially.
I'm going to play it because I get that itch, you know, that Borderlands itch. Even though I didn't enjoy 3 as much,
Yeah.
I still had that fucking like.
we still probably put 50 or 60 hours.
Yeah,
into
it was
so-
satisfying.
yeah.
You know, I know I'm going to get my money's worth, but is it going to be like GOTY or anything like that? No.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, probably not.
but I really think this is just like conspiracy theory thing, because from the very beginning when they showed the trailer, I think the main bad guy is rolling.
oh, you think so?
I don't know why. I don't know
What did you
why.
see?
That's
What'd you
just
see?
like I didn't see anything. I
Oh.
just saw that first trailer, and they're dealing with time and space. Like I
What
don't
does Roland
know.
have to do with that?
I don't know.
Okay.
They just have this similar built-ish looking, and like I don't know. In that very first trailer, I was just like,
Doesn't look like Roland.
I mean, he's kind of
I
leading
don't know. Maybe though.
that way.
I don't know,
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting if that was the case, though.
right?
What a twist, you know?
I don't know. It's just that first trailer like threw me off, and I was like the first like teaser trailer.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I could be like totally wrong.
Well, I'm anxious to see more about him because they haven't really given much about him. You know, like Handsome Jack was just such an iconic character.
So iconic.
So I'm really interested to see like this. This guy feels more like a I don't know. I don't know what it feels like. Never mind. But
Well, we haven't got much.
yeah, we haven't
you know?
got much at all. Yeah,
He seems more serious, you know.
yeah.
So I don't think we get a lot of funny bits from him. Which they went extremely goofy with the last two bad guys.
Yeah.
And 3. I think 2, Jack had a good balance,
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
So
Yeah, so coming out in September, looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be, hopefully it's in the right direction and we'll bring it. I'm actually surprised how quickly they brought this game out because I feel like the time between Borderlands pre-sequel and 3 was so long. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we were waiting and waiting and waiting for Borderlands to come out.
They had to put out that movie, dude, and get everyone hyped.
Yeah,
for
the movie
fucking
came out
next one.
after that, though. You know,
I know,
It's
but I'm just
crazy.
saying they had a plan.
That's
Plan got-
true.
went to
That's true.
shit.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yep. COVIDs. But yeah, Borderlands 4 coming out September. Looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Yeah.
If you want to play with us, join our Discord. Check it out in the show notes. It's gonna be a great time.